Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name's Luke, and I am joined by returning guest on the show, Chef John Leancu. Chef John, welcome to the
Man,
show.
thank you so much. It's great to be back. I appreciate you, bringing me on. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I'm glad that you had fun the last time you were on the show. I had a lot of fun. We talked a lot about your MMA, amateur MMA career, how you took a break, then you were getting back into it, and you talked to me about kind of wanting to see where you can go with what you can do. And so officially it's been announced that you are making your pro MMA debut March 18th down in Morgantown. So pretty much exactly a month from today. Let's talk about that and kind of how it came together. And here you are just over a month away from becoming a pro MMA fighter. Just walk us through all of that.
Yeah. So last year I told you I was going to make the run, and I started out the year last year at like 230 pounds, and I decided it was time to get back into shape and start fighting again. Cut down to 215. Had a boxing fight. Ended up taking an MMA fight up in New York at 185. Took another boxing match at 185. I went 4-0 last year. I ended up taking a kickboxing match right at the end of the year, kind of last minute situation. And my team and I just decided that let's make the run for pro. Let's see if we can get on a good card. Nicole Castillo, who is a manager and a matchmaker. She doesn't manage for me, but anybody that fights in our area knows Nicole real well. And I've always been in touch with her. We've always been good friends. So she let me know that Angelo had a match coming up in West Virginia. Angelo does made men promotions for those people that don't know. And she said she could get me on the card as a pro. So I said, let's do it. So, she gave me the option of 185 or 170. I said, Nicole, at this point, just where do you want me? I'll be there. I'll make the weight, whatever we want to be at. So we found somebody for 170. And even with that, you know how fights go. I lost my first opponent. He got injured. He's out. He was out for 3 months, and she ended up finding me somebody else within a week. Darnell Truitt. And I give him all the credit in the world already because he's coming up from 155 to 170 to meet me so that I can make my pro debut. And he didn't have to do that. He's already got 4 pro fights under his belt,
It's really great to see it all come together. I know you were on the show after one of your MMA fights last year. I did not realize that last minute you had a kickboxing fight. I know you tend to be quite the striker. We've talked about that. You're quite good in striking. So kind of walk us through a little bit of a kickbox. I would imagine a kickboxing fight for you is sort of more fun. Not that MMA
Right.
isn't fun, because we'll talk about that. And of course, you train with Nick Brown. For people, you gave him a huge shout out. He's a highly ranked Bellator fighter. Most people should know who Nick Nyquil Brown
Right.
is. But you talked about you grappling with him all the time. So obviously, your wrestling's getting there. But what was it like being in kickboxing where you could just focus on that?
It was we had a lot of fun with it. And it was a club match, so it was kind of an exhibition. I
Oh,
just happened to be up. Right now. I'm up in Findlay, Ohio, and I just happened to be up here training with a demolition fight team.
oh,
And I was up here a couple months ago, and a couple of my buddies up here had fights coming up. Dylan Bucka, the Mindless Hulk, he had an LFA fight coming up. My buddy Mateo Gardner, top ape, he had a amateur fight coming up down in Kentucky. So I came up to give these guys some rounds. And then that weekend, we decided to drive out to Indiana for this club boxing or kickboxing. And on the way out, they asked me if I had my gear because they lost a couple fights, but they wanted to, keep the fights going. So they asked me if I could step in. And there happened to be somebody there that was my weight. So it's always, why not? It's always fun to get in there and rumble around with somebody. So yeah, we took the fight last minute. My corner was yelling at me that they said I was taking it a little too easy on them, and I needed to pick the pace up, by the third round. But we took home the victory. It was ended up being a unanimous decision. But it was just nice to be back in like the realm of what I like to do, right? Like to be able to mix my kicks and punches together, and it was a lot of fun.
well, when you said that it was last minute, clearly you meant really last minute. And it's great that you have the support you do. Now we can kind of change focus, I apologize for kind of saying that you're a kickboxer. You're clearly a well-rounded MMA fighter. You've been training a lot of time in BJJ and grappling, so I didn't mean to put you in the striker category. I know you tend to like to strike, but what are you looking forward to the most with it being all MMA? Because there's everything from the grappling to the wrestling to knees and all those aspects. What are you looking forward to it being a pro full rules MMA?
I mean, honestly, I don't want to give it all away, but like, I can't wait to throw some elbows, right? I'm excited to get in there and be able to use that aspect of the stand up, that, with American kickboxing, you don't get to use a lot.
Mm.
And, I haven't pulled any Muay Thai fights, for myself to be able to use that. So it's going to be really exciting to be able to, because I like the dirty box anyways, with even the length that I am, I like to get on the inside and to have that extra utility under my belt to be able to use those elbows is going to be a lot of fun, I think. And I'm going to be honest, I plan on coming out and dropping a lot of elbows.
Well, we don't want you to give a ton away, but I think it makes perfect sense that you would I think it makes perfect sense that you would look forward to elbows. I'll ask you this, and it's not to put you on the spot at all, but I don't know if you've come across, he's a 170-pound pro fighter as well, Tom Kaiser. He's been on the 247 card a few times. He just made his pro debut, so it's fresh in my mind. But he won by a very tight elbow. He was up against the cage in the Muay Thai clinch, had his opponent up against the cage, was kind of just tied up, didn't even let go of the guy, just brought his arm back, knocked him out. Really tight elbow, kind of like that dirty boxing you were talking about. And I think a lot of times people think of elbows in MMA as full mount grounded pound, which are very devastating. But there's a lot of nuanced elbows on the feet that don't often get used because of all the other things going on. So it's really cool. Obviously, the fight will play out whatever way it ends up playing out. And I don't want you to give away your game plan, but it makes perfect sense that you would want to incorporate that. I guess bring up what else you want people to know about your upcoming fight. Is Morgantown a place you've always wanted to fight in? I think you're more from the center of Pennsylvania, right? So it's a bit of a trip. Do you have a lot of people coming out to support you? What's that been looking like building up to it?
It's Morgantown's about an hour from my home, so it's kind of like right in my backyard, right? And it's about as hometown as I can get if I'm not fighting in Pittsburgh, because I'm about 45 minutes from Pittsburgh and an hour from Morgantown. Those last couple boxing fights that I've had have been out of Morgantown, so I have started to build a little bit of a reputation down there already in the fight scene, and I feel comfortable with the crowd that's going to be coming. I get to fight on the card with Ethan Hayes, who's a teammate of mine. I get to fight on the card with the silent treatment Faith Nichols. She'll be coming out to fight. She's been a long time training partner of mine. So we have a huge crowd anyways from our following from All American, coming down to train with us and to fight with us down there. And it'll be like being in front of a hometown crowd. Yeah.
Well, that will be great. I'm thrilled that you're fighting with two of your other training partners on the card. That kind of makes it more of a team event and a team support. So that's fantastic. I've gotten to witness a couple of Ethan Hayes fight, and I've had him on the show before, so that's always exciting.
Right.
He had a really incredible standing choke, standing guillotine, if I remember it right, against the now 247 145-pound champ Ethan, the Wolverine Goss. It was Ethan versus Ethan, and that was an incredible fight of both striking and submission. So wow, I mean, it's just really exciting to see that you get this opportunity. So I appreciate you coming on the show again to talk about it. I think everybody should be excited. You go by the nickname Chef John because you are a chef, and so that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Talk about your Chef John shirts. I believe they say Chef John, and it's a fundraiser. Really, it's an opportunity for them to support you and sponsor you as you need money to further your dreams of being a pro MMA fighter.
Oh yeah, I wish I would have had one on or brought one up with me here to Findlay, Ohio. But the Chef John shirt has a skull crossbone on top of it with the chef hat and the beard, which I've trimmed down a little bit more since I am a chef. I gotta keep it clean, a little cleaner. But he has the beard on it, and then on the back it has one of my favorite quotes from Theodore Roosevelt, "Man in the Arena." Um, and it, you know, it just is. It just represents who I am. It's a red. I do them all in red colors. So if anybody ever wants one, they're $20. You can hit me up on Facebook. I always answer my messenger as fast as I can. And you know, I mean, I use that kind of money that helps me pay for the medical costs and travel costs and things like that. Because it's not cheap to fight. You know, it's a lot of guys start out. You know, they think they're making money as fighters, and really, you pay more out of pocket probably in your first couple fights than you would actually making. So like little things like that, we, you know, are always fun, and it's a real comfortable shirt. People seem to really like them. You know, so if anybody interested wants to join the Chef John Nation, you know, let me know.
Well, we
Get
want
one for you.
everybody to join the Chef John Nation, and it is something we always talk about here on MMA Fancast. Really important for people to buy tickets directly from their favorite fighters, you included, of course. And if you happen to not have a favorite fighter, you know, a gym that you support, obviously for you, they need to buy tickets directly from you or from the gym. But that really does help both amateur and pro fighters, can end up really helping them with ticket sales, either way. So that could be big. Well, I'm thrilled for you. I'm excited. I'm glad that you get this opportunity. I'm super pumped and excited to have had you back on the show. Best skills to you and your other teammates that are on that card. I'm just so excited that you're at this point where things kind of fell together. You went 4-0 last year. You really decided to make a push. We could probably do a whole nother interview just on the dedication you had to do to get yourself in shape from 230 to now you'll be making your pro debut at 170. But I know you've been posting some of that stuff on Facebook. You really put yourself through it to get yourself in shape. So I give you all the credit in the world, and I appreciate you coming back on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. And you know, yeah, stay tuned because we're gonna make a push and we're making a run for bigger things after this. So I hope to be back on again.
Well, I will hold you to that. Of course, I want you back on the show afterwards. I always like to follow. I know I followed. Of course I'm dropping her name now. It's a two name like Carly Joe. She dates Justin General. Carly Joe. Yeah, I got it right. Carly Joe.
Yeah. You got it right. Yeah.
She trains out of your gym as well. I know she's now training at the Mat Factory with.
Yeah, she's now with Isaac, right? Yeah.
Right, but still, I know she's connected to you guys. She always is excited for Nick Brown and you guys. So I think it's just really fun. I've loved having you on the show. I can't wait. But the reason why I brought up Carly Joe and Justin, the General Patton, is I love having people on, and then I love following them as they progress through the career. I had Charlie Joe on a couple of times, Carly Joe on a couple of times, and obviously I was joking with Justin Patton last time. I think he's on the show all the time because he's been super busy. You've stayed super busy. The busier you are as a fighter, the more you can come on the show. So
right, exactly.
So much,
and Justin's got a yeah, I appreciate it. One last interruption. Yeah, Justin's got a fight coming up here soon too, April. I'm pretty sure because I just ran into him. We did some training together about a week ago, and then Nick Brown's got a fight coming up for Bellator on the 31st of March. So you know, stay tuned for that.
Wow, and yeah,
well.
I know that one because he's ranked top 15 or something like that in Bellator. I know it's a big deal. He has a ranking. I know he has a ranking number, and he's like another ranked guy. I forget all the details. I've had your buddy and coach Nick Brown on the show one time. I know he's a very busy man. He runs his own gym. He's got a lot going on. I'd love to have him back on. But I also enjoy having all the people that have been affiliated with All American on the show because Nick Brown's just an incredible guy. If people don't know, he's a wonderful man, and he's also a super dangerous guy. He's a top level athlete. He has showed himself to be absolutely wow.
Absolutely.
His fights are incredible. So thanks so much. This has been really fun. You have a great day and best skills to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. You've been listening to Chef John on the show. Thanks so much. Have a good one.